no! I've kept the stream on the wrong game. Let's change it quick before they notice. Hey, there you go. That was quick enough, wasn't it? Look at that. Iraq versus Norway is the game that we are doing instead of Argentina versus Algeria. Quick change of plans. I thought we'd do Iraq versus Norway purely because, well, a couple of reasons. One, I've got my little girl's sports day tomorrow morning, and I was sat there thinking, as soon as the stream ended for France and Senegal, I was sat there thinking to myself, I could go and have a little kip now, and I could get up for Argentina versus Algeria. And that's a 2 o'clock kickoff. That means I'm going to bed at about 4. And I probably won't go to sleep straight away. I'll probably only go to sleep at about 5. Which means I've got to be up for like 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's a bad night's sleep. Or, because I am doing the other Argentina games, I could instead go, do you know what I will do? Instead, let's do Iraq versus Norway. Let's do Iraq versus Norway. And we'll watch this at 11 o'clock. I'll be in bed for 1 o'clock. And then I get a nice solid 7 or 8 hours before I'm up. And I can watch. I can go and see my little girl's sports day. And that's far more important. So that was the reason for the change of plans. I do need to change the... do need to toggle the headline so it doesn't say that, because we're not going to be doing that. So we're going to instead say live for Portugal versus Ghana. Sorry, Portugal versus DR Congo and England versus Croatia tomorrow. There you go. Excuse me. So yeah, but tonight, listen, we've got a very, very big game tonight. We've got Ståle Solbakken's Norway. Played for Norway at France 98, by the way, Ståle Solbakken. I think he did have a spell at Wimbledon as well, didn't he? And they are up against the Lions of Mesopotamia, Iraq, managed by Graham Arnold, an Australian who is assisted by René Meulenstein, who you might remember, former Manchester United assistant manager. He was assistant to Sir Alex Ferguson for a spell, wasn't he, René Meulenstein? He is the assistant manager of Iraq, and he was also manager of Fulham very briefly as well, wasn't he? But yeah, they have got Ayman Hussein up front, the number 9, who got them the winner in qualification. Here it is, actually. Here is the winner, I think. Yeah, against Bolivia. Captained Iraq through the playoffs. There is Al Hamadi as well, who plays up front for Luton, former Ipswich striker. And obviously, listen, Norway's centre-forwards need very, very little explanation. Erling Haaland, 16 goals in qualifying. The most of any player worldwide. Scored in all 8 qualifying games for Norway. And a real threat. And someone that I think people are kind of expecting might just... Maybe be an outside chance for Golden Boot. Who knows? Could be. But obviously, listen, before we get stuck into tonight's live, I do want to give a very, very big shout out to friends of the channel, my friends and yours, Oxford Natural, who are sponsoring the Matchday Tavern throughout the World Cup for tonight's game, but also throughout the tournament. Big thank you to them for continuing to sponsor the channel with the Optimum Day and Night supplements. If you've not yet checked them out, please go and do so. You can click the link in the description. You can scan the QR code, which is on screen right now at the bottom, or throughout the live, you can scan it as well. And you can go and get yourself 70% off your first order of Oxford Natural products. Oxford Natural helping people like Michael Owen, people like Robbie at AFTV, people like KG to make healthier choices and get themselves in better shape. I'm certainly trying to do it, and I'm hoping that Oxford Natural will help me. Maybe I can get myself a little before and after picture like the ones we're seeing there. So go and check them out. Please go and show them some love if you are looking to get onto a health journey. Oxford Natural's Optimum Day helps with your cravings, helps you manage your cravings, helps you make better decisions through the day, stay energetic, stay on track. And sleep is a huge part of weight management and just generally making sure you're making better decisions. Because if you are tired, then you don't make smart decisions. You generally tend to snack and you make all sorts of silly decisions. It messes up your metabolism and all sorts. So you need a good night's sleep. Oxford Naturals Optimum Night helps with that, and Optimum Day helps with your cravings. Go and check it out. Scan the QR code and get 70% off your first order. And a big, big thank you to them. Thank you again for sponsoring the Matchday Tavern. And with that said, let's get stuck into tonight's live. Iraq versus Norway. I've just realised we've got all the... Oh, well done, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you for sorting that, Sarah. Oliver, how's it going? Matty. My thoughts are below, says Norway 2-0. Gooners Villains, good to see you, man. Rob, good to see you. Liam, Pete. I was just about to go to bed, but not now. Yes, Pete. Sarah says, me too, Pete. Didn't even know Key was doing this. I wasn't, you know. I really wasn't going to do it. Gooners Villains, Key, don't stress yourself. Whatever game you want to stream, do it. We're behind you. Oh, mate, that's so nice. That's so nice. I really appreciate... You don't know how much that means. Comments like that, I really do appreciate. All right, Norway, here we go. Yes, Rupert, we've got a Norwegian in the chat. Right. Let's go. Let's go. And Norway in their red kit. I had them in the black kit. Are Iraq in their green kit or their white kit? I don't know. I don't know if I got them in the right kits on the thumbnails. I hastily had to put that thumbnail together. It took me a little bit of time. As soon as I realised I wasn't going to do the Argentina-Algeria game and instead decided to do this one, as soon as I needed to do it, very quickly had to change the thumbnails. Right, let's get the chat up on screen. Hey, Welshwing, evening, Mr. Thomas. How are you, sir? Lovely to see you. And an Everton fan. Prince Rupert, win this one and draw with Senegal and we should be good. I think Norway are through no matter what, mate. I'll be honest with you. I think you'll be fine. Oh, they are wearing their red kit. Damn. Really thought they'd be in the black. Thought they'd be in the black kit. But hey-ho. Orjan Nyland in goal. I need Norway to... Norway first corner. Have I got Norway first corner? What have I got here? I think I've got Norway first corner. No, Norway first team to score and Nyland to make at least one save. So I just need Iraq to do something in the opposition half, but Norway to score first. Norway score first. Iraq with the shot on target. That's enough for me. Really like the Iraq kit. It's nice, isn't it? Never thought I'd say so many teams at the World Cup that maybe, Curacao. I think Cape Verde have got a nice kit as well. There's a lot of teams at the World Cup that maybe you wouldn't have normally... Uzbekistan have got a nice kit as well, actually. Have you seen the Uzbekistan kit? It's nice. Norway will lose. Why are you saying Norway will lose? Martin Odegaard in there. Fitness has been an issue all season for Odegaard. Still a very, very talented player, no doubt about that. He's in the midfield with Sanderberg and Arsnes of Benfica. Nyland starts in goal. Mats Moller-Wolf of Wolverhampton Wanderers at left back. Ayer, Ryerson and Hegum of Bologna at centre back. And then it's a front three of Sorloth, Noosa, and HAALAND. For duck's sake, who do you think will sign Tonali? Arsenal, City or Spurs? I would imagine it'll be City or Spurs. If City get him, it's because they're not getting Elliot Anderson, and Arsenal won't sign him. I don't know why Arsenal would be going in for Tonali. They're overwhelmed with midfielders. I don't see a world in which Arsenal sign Tonali. Key, are you doing another stream after England tomorrow, or only if you decide to do Colombia? Honestly, mate, I think it's very much dependent. I've got England versus Congo, Portugal versus Congo, England versus Croatia tomorrow, and then after that, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Ghana, Panama's at midnight. I'm going to skip that one. Uzbekistan, Colombia's a 3 a.m. kickoff. I mean, chances are, mate, I'm probably not going to do it. But I'll see. I will see. I want to try and cover as many games as possible, but I have to make sure that I'm kind of balancing it health-wise. Jack, it's so nice to see less of you since the Prem. Mate, that's not a very nice thing to say, is it, Jack? Thought you were a nice lad. Do you think Man City will sign Anderson? For 120 million quid, I would imagine it'll be enough to get it over the line. Hegem, blast from the past. Vegard Hegem. Gooners Villains, what are your thoughts on Bouadi, the Moroccan midfielder? Talented boy. Don't know if he's worth the amount of money that, again, is being bandied around for him. But yeah, Vegard Hegem. Remember Vegard Hegem. Freddie, World Cup winners. I said Spain. I'm going to stick with Spain. Yeah, I said Spain. I'm going to stick with them. I still think Spain, against better sides, will do better. I think they struggled against Cape Verde, obviously, and maybe will struggle against the low block. But I think Spain is still the best side in the tournament for me, and I think they can dominate in maybe a way that France can't. So I said Spain before the tournament. I'm going to stick with Spain. Sarah, I think... here we go. We've got another numpty in. I think Villa would be nuts if they let Rodgers go, especially since they're in the Champions League. They need the money, though, don't they? This is it. They need the money, Aston Villa. Matty, was anyone even talking about Bouadi before the Morocco game? Yeah, he's been talked about for a while, Bouadi. He was doing really well at Lille. He's been talked about as kind of an up-and-coming talent in Ligue 1 for a while. Obviously, World Cups tend to focus people a bit more on certain players, don't they? They tend to make people talk about certain performances and highlight certain performances. Long ball over the top. Easy, that one for Ireland. Yeah, who do you think's winning the World Cup, Freddie? Philip Bidwell, 4-1 to Norway. You're thinking it's going to be a rout tonight then? Server says, will Arsenal pay 120 million for Rodgers? Probably not. Again, is he worth that? Is he worth that amount of money? Like, Elliot Anderson, I think, is probably worth 120 million, because if we're in a world where... If we're in a world where Declan Rice costs 100 and Enzo Fernandez costs 110 and Caicedo's 105 or whatever, then I think Elliot Anderson probably is 120. There's not many players in his position about that can do what he does. So scarcity is a factor. I think you've got to look at Enzo Fernandez and Declan Rice and go, well, Elliot Anderson, that probably is about right, isn't it? 120 mil. But I can't then look at Morgan Rodgers and believe that he's value at 120 million pounds. I don't think he is. I think there's better... Put it this way, I think you could go and get Barcola for 50 million pounds less than that, and he would be... As we saw tonight, Bradley Barcola comes off the bench, makes a big impression. Talented player. Is he as good as Rodgers? Questionable. Is he 50 million pounds less than he is in terms of value and potential? No, I don't think he is. I think Barcola represents maybe better value for money signing. Rodgers is good, but I'm not paying 120 million for him. I'm taking a punt on some lad from Greece for less. Yeah, Solis is another one. Yeah, Arsenal being linked with Solis. Solis is class from Bruges, says Gunners Villains. Yeah. Prince Rupert Nyland has only played 7 games for Sevilla all season. Not great. Norway drive forward, straight through to the Iraq goalkeeper. Antonio Noosa's an interesting one to watch tonight. Again, he's a young player. Well, was a young player with a blossoming reputation. He's kind of flattered to deceive at club level for a while now, Antonio Noosa. He always delivers for Norway, though. Always tends to do well for Norway. 5 goal contributions in 6 qualifiers. Look at the state of that from HAALAND. 55 goals in 50 caps for him. But Noosa is, I think he had the second most dribbles as well in qualifying, second only to Jeremy Doku. So if you're talking about players that get at the fullback, that drive at the fullback, that can dribble past a man, Doku is a player we all know can do that. Antonio Noosa is very, very close behind him. Seismically, the thing is that even low-table teams in the Premier League don't need to sell, so it'll inflate the market. Yeah. And obviously it does the same whenever English teams go to, teams in Europe and try and get, like Lamine Camara, for example. Lamine Camara at Monaco. Newcastle are talking about getting him as a replacement for Tonali. If it was AC Milan bidding for Lamine Camara, or if it was Borussia Dortmund bidding for Lamine Camara, I imagine the price would be a lot less than it is because it's Newcastle, because it's Liverpool or Spurs or City or whoever it might be who goes in for him. Pete says McAllister is worth 200 million. Just don't look at last season, tongue in cheek. McAllister's a fabulous player if you exclude last season. Sir, I heard Barcola wanted Liverpool. How true that is, I don't know. I mean, I think if you're an attacking player, you would prefer to play for Liverpool than you would for Arsenal. I think even Arsenal fans would understand that. Iraq, header, over the bar, unlucky. Yeah, I think even Arsenal fans would acknowledge that they're not a great side to play in for attackers. Very good side, but maybe if you're an attacker, you probably wouldn't thrive at Arsenal. You wouldn't love to play for Arsenal. Whereas, I think other clubs will give you a touch more freedom. Will, are you doing Argentina later? I'm not, mate. No, I'm just doing this one now. Long ball up the touchline. Soloth chasing it down, but good defending from the Iraqis. Is it going to be a corner? No, he's given a free kick. Welsh wing, I want Rodgers if we get rid of Trossard. It's a big upgrade, that. When you consider Trossard doesn't start anywhere near as many games. Yeah. I can't see Rodgers replacing Trossard. I think Rodgers goes if maybe Martinelli's going. Finch, Liverpool dropping down now. Salah's going. Nobody wants to join Liverpool. Yeah, I guess so. That makes sense. I'm sure Isak joined because of Salah. Yeah, and Jake and Leone, the 2 best young centre-backs in Europe, joined because of Salah. I don't think Wirtz joined because of Salah. I don't think Ekatike joined because of Salah. Liverpool have still got pull. There's no doubt about that. Welchwing says, told you by Matchday 3 key would scrap the 3 a.m. kickoffs. To be honest, I'm not scrapping Matchday 3 a.m. kickoffs. I'm just not doing the ones that, if they are 3 in a row kind of thing. I think if there's 3 in a row, it's not worth doing them. Unless they're really, really big games. Trossard starts more than Martinelli. He's not a starter, though. I don't care what you say, mate. Martinelli's your starting right winger. He just hasn't been good enough to have earned more starts than Trossard recently. But Trossard, Trossard is not as good as Martinelli. Martinelli is your starting right winger. I can understand you'd want to upgrade on him. He just hasn't been very good recently. Yildiz looks overrated to me versus Australia. I mean, I don't rate Yildiz full stop, to be honest. I've never rated him anyway before that. Finch says, Fabrizio saying Barcola joining Arsenal. Good luck to him, yeah. Seismically says, in a few years, do you think Villa could have more pull than Liverpool? No. No. When you say in a few years, I mean, you'd have to take sort of 20 years of Villa continuing to win lots and lots and lots. Finners, is it still 89 games you're doing, Key? It never was. It never was 89 games. There was never 89 games. It's not possible to do 89 games. I think there was only 81 that you could do and watch like one at a time. Iraq, ball whipped in from the left-hand side. It's out on the far side for the throw-in. Football Talks thought you were not watching this game. Last-minute change of plan, mate. Last-minute change of plan. That's it, Key. Big 'em up. Curtis Jones is marvellous. Elliott outstanding. Gakpo tremendous. Gakpo tremendous. Jesus. Elise might be the best player in the world when Yamal is not 100%. Finners Matty, I thought you said 89 games in 39 days. No. No, it's not possible to do 89 games, mate. There's not 89 games in the tournament. Group stage games all play on the final day, don't they? They all play on the final at the same time. Jakob says Gakpo is so washed. What you on about? I think Jacob, whatever your name is, mate. I think you've joined and not quite listened. 2 of these, mate. 2 of these for listening. Just 1 of these for talking. That's what you're supposed to use them for. If you could bring back one Liverpool player that's not a legend, who would you choose? Thiago. Prince Rupert, your clock is about 15 seconds off, Key. It is. Go on, I'll update it quick. Let me update it. Right, manual controls. Manual clock. First half. There you go. Right. Updated. There you go. Looking forward to tomorrow and cheering for Croatia. They are my sweepstake team and 2 it's against England. To be fair, Thiago was a baller. Thiago or Fabregas? Thiago Alcantara was one of the best centre mids I've ever seen. For Liverpool, he would probably be in my all-time Liverpool 11 in my lifetime, obviously. Unbelievable player. Noosa, I think, has just been brought down there, has he? It's a free kick for Norway. No, it wasn't Noosa. That wasn't even a free kick. That wasn't a free kick, that. It was Ryerson. Never a free kick. He got the ball. Are you watching on BBC or normally? BBC, mate. Loved Thiago, just a shame about the injuries. Yeah, fabulous player. Pete said, did you see what Slot said about Isaac? I didn't know. What did he say? I haven't seen. Philip Bidwell, Key, it's my first time here. Good man. Good to see you, mate. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Good to see you in the chat. Who's your team? Who do you support? And what are your thoughts on this game in particular? And what have you... Give us your thoughts on the World Cup in general. Let me know what your thoughts are on the tournament. I'd be intrigued to hear what you think about the tournament so far. And this game tonight. Norway, Iraq, good chance, hit it. Over the bar, that was better. Welshwing also can't do quizzes tonight. Unfortunately, been doing night shift and I'm too knackered, so I might fall asleep in this game. Hey, no worries, mate. Hey, listen, I understand. It's all good. Did you see what Alison said about Slot? Jesus Christ. Can people just tell me what they've actually said? I've no idea what's been said. Alison said something about Slot. Slot said something about Isaac. What's been said? I don't know. Norway can't quite get the ball away. Iraq. Still doing all right, though. Opening 13 minutes here. Here's Ryerson. See what Neil Mellor said about Slot. Seeing what Slot said about Salif Jow. It's all coming out now that he's been sacked. Fucking yeah, hanger honours. Go on, what's been said? Sure, nothing of any real note. Yeah, there's nothing been said by Alison about Slot or Slot about Alison. Slot, Isaac. What's Slot said about Isaac? Nothing. South Shep says, Key, didn't even know you was doing the World Cup. Yeah, mate, covering it all. Pete says if he played like he did for Sweden, he wouldn't have been sacked. He did well, didn't he, the other night against Tunisia. Philip Bidwell, Liverpool. So far, the World Cup has been so. Too early to say about this match. Oh, well, good to see we've got another Liverpool fan in. I'm a Liverpool fan as well, mate, so that's good. This charming Dan says, bloody hell, Key, only just realised you'd switch games. I've got notifications on, but I didn't bother checking my phone. Well, whose fault's that, then? Don't blame you changing games. I'd have done the same. Yeah, it was just, mate, I've got my little girl's sports day tomorrow, and I thought, it's not worth doing the Argentina-Algeria game at daft o'clock. I'll only been getting in bed at like 5 a.m. So I thought, bugger it, we'll do Iraq and Norway instead, and hopefully it proves. Watch Argentina-Algeria be about 4-4 now. Spurs agree to sign Van Hecker confirmed. What are your thoughts, Key? Good signing. Probably does mean that Romero's going, though, I would imagine. Finch, I don't know if it's me, but this World Cup is really boring. Yeah, it's you, mate, that one, I think. It's entirely on you. Rob says Mellor was furious. Him and Slot went to a club end-of-season function, and on the way home, he wouldn't pay for end-of-night kebabs. Furious. He said, get your own garlic bread, mate. Welsh says, Alison said in an interview to a Brazilian reporter towards the end of the season he'd miss games on purpose to be ready for the World Cup, implying Slot was a lost cause. No, I think you've invented that implication there. I think what Liverpool and Slot and Alison probably discussed was, hey, listen, the season's basically over. We've secured Champions League qualification with 4 or 5 games left to go. We don't really need to risk playing Alison unless we absolutely need to. I just don't think it's worth playing him. So I think it was more that. I think it was probably the same with Alexander Isak as well. Alexander Isak spent a lot of time on the bench towards the end of the season, and he probably could have come on, and we might have needed him to come on in games, but Liverpool already had the top 5 sewn up. Yeah, it's not. You said it's because you phrased it. You phrased it rather oddly. You said, "Did you hear what Alison said about Slot?" Alison didn't say anything about Slot. What Alison said was he missed games towards the end of the season for Liverpool so that he could be fit for the World Cup. That's not saying anything about Slot. I think you've got 2 and 2 together and made 5. They've said it's because Alisson fell out with Slot. Liverpool journalists have said a lot this season. I don't buy that at all. I think Liverpool journalists have been pretty poorly behaved, to be honest, when it's come to Arne Slot. They've invented an awful lot of stuff. Finners Matty, apparently Ekatike said he wants to be back for Boxing Day. I'm sure he does. I think we all would like him back a bit sooner if he can. Liverpool desperate for another attacker. I'll tell you what, so much for Erling Haaland's going to score 9 in this game. Not looking like it, is it? Big Will says that second Mbappe goal was incredible. Yeah, it was a really, really good finish, wasn't it? How are you finding the night shift then, Welsh? Have you just started on night shifts? This charming Dan says, if that had been me, I'd have either changed games like you or just stayed up all night and been cream crackered tomorrow, but I know the reason you obviously can't do that. Yeah, no, it was a non-starter, to be honest. I'd have loved to do that. I think if I didn't have the epilepsy, I probably would have stayed up far more. Joe, breaking news, Welsh ring sued by Alisson, leading to a reduction in quiz shows on the Matchday Tavern. Notice Man City haven't been linked to anyone. Well, you know, it's... The Elliot Anderson stuff won't go away, will it? Norway, ball in. It's gone behind for a goal kick. Too easy, that. Tiring. I always find it really wrecks you. I mean, I found that during this World Cup. I feel like mentally, I feel like I'm quite an upbeat, positive person. Glass half full type of person. And I found it quite mentally draining. Like, you know, some days I felt really flat and quite low. And that's not me. That's just not me at all. Just a bit like, ugh. And nothing to do with the World Cup, nothing to do with football or... And nothing to do with, like, life or family outside. Everything's great. Little girl's been a bit poorly, but other than that, everything's tickety-boo. But yeah, just mad how much sleep really affects you, doesn't it? It really does affect your kind of mental well-being. You've got to be really on top of things. Ball whipped over. Easy. Headed over the bar there from HAALAND. Matty says, if we don't get Nunes on a buyback, maybe on a loan until January as a backup for Isak until Ekatike comes back. And Welsh says, way Nunes performed versus Saudi, I'd keep well away. Got took off at half-time, didn't he? Crazy, that. Will says, I'm doing an all-nighter. It's called Watching Argentina in an Hour or a Few. An all-nighter. Hey, listen, you're a better man than I will. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Sal Shep says Slot was always getting sacked, lost the fans, and one thing great Liverpool managers is they always have the fans on side. Do you not think the fans are different now than they were, though, back in the day, Sal Shep? Do you not think there's a difference between Liverpool fans, modern Liverpool fans, let's say, and Liverpool fans of even 20 years ago, let's say? I don't know how old you are, mate, but I guarantee you people like Rafa Benitez would have been sacked with this current Liverpool fan base. He wouldn't have had a chance to get to Istanbul. Gerard Houllier would have certainly been sacked before he won 5 trophies with us. Jurgen Klopp, I think, would have been sacked. Number of times Jurgen Klopp took us on long winless runs and, you know, 6 straight defeats at home. Joe says players from Norway to play for Liverpool. Players from Norway to play for Liverpool. Stig Inge Bjorneby, Riise, Vegard Hegem, Øyvind Leonardsen. I think that's it. Philip Bidwell, I'd like Ekatike ASAP, but not too soon though. So Boxing Day is a reasonable target for him. South Shep says, I'm 37 and fair point, to be fair, Key. Well, yeah, I was going to say, I'm saying basically same age, mate. I'm 36. I always look back to how Liverpool fans reacted previously in before the days of social media. Feels like fans, football fans, and not just football fans actually, people in general have a lot less patience nowadays, don't they? A lot less patience. There's a lot more I want it now, I want it yesterday. Give me success immediately, and if you don't give me success immediately, I will call for you to be sacked. Even though the things that Iraola needs to be a successful Liverpool manager is exactly the same as the things that Slot needed to be a successful Liverpool manager. Just desperately needed some pace in wide areas. Pete, I've never been a glass half empty. When I was drinking, it was always empty. And this charming Dan says, yep, night shift can be mentally draining. Did it for 2 years working on my own and nearly had a nervous breakdown. Never again. That's it. Yeah, these night shift workers, I mean, I've done night shift. I've had night shift jobs. Really does take it out of you. Got to be very careful. You got to look after yourself. Good strike. Nearly 1-0. France will be the new champion, says Alexandru Gabriel. And Welshwing says, I think it was Klopp and the bar went up. Same will be for City now in the aftermath of Guardiola. Yeah, I mean, Maresca still not announced, is it? Maresca, there's still conversations going on with Chelsea about ending that one. Prince Rupert says, did you watch the France-Senegal game earlier, Key? And if so, thoughts on how the teams looked? Yeah, watched both games. Watched France and Senegal. Thought it was a really good second half. First half was dreadful. Senegal were the better side. Right, here we go. We've got our first hydration break in the Iraq-Norway game. End of the first quarter. Yes, so France were brilliant second half. Came out of the traps. Really, really smashed it. Did really, really well. Senegal, honestly, I think Senegal will probably look at it and think they were hard done by in a way, because, I mean, France could say they were hard done by with the penalty decision, but Senegal really should have taken the lead. They had a couple of big chances and they were unlucky to not score more. Joe says, do you think you was too ambitious to do every game at the World Cup? No, not at all, mate. No, it's not that it wasn't possible. It's that the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, basically. I don't know if you know that expression. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Welshwing says, why do you think United haven't kept a manager? Fergie kept the bar so high. I also think that's a change in social media, though, as well. It also feels like social media hadn't quite exploded. It was nowhere near as prevalent in Fergie's era as it was, or as it is now. Joe says we should cancel the deal on Victor Munoz and get Rashford. 40 million release clause. I still think Rashford's would be a good signing for Newcastle anyway, wouldn't he? Nice adjustment from Deschamps, moving the Lycée more central. Finch wrecked you, girl next door quote. It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It is a girl next door quote. Who is it who says that? Is it Timothy Oliphant who says that? That's the one. Yeah, I think it is. Finners Matty says, I wasn't on the stream at the time, Key. Do you think it was a pen? Yes. Yes, it was definitely a pen. Get on with a bloody game, says Rob. Says, Welshwing says, do you see Tunisia sack their manager after the Sweden loss? Yes, and they've appointed a new manager immediately, haven't they? But apparently the sacking has been coming for a while. Like, he went into the tournament, he'd already had arguments with the Tunisian FA, and there was all sorts going on there. This is Norway's first World Cup since 1998, by the way. They're a football-mad nation, but they've seen Iceland, Georgia, North Macedonia all reach tournaments first since then. But yeah, first World Cup since 1998. In 98, they actually beat Brazil with a 90th minute penalty. And before USA 1994, they actually reached second in the world rankings at one point. Iraq with a strike over the bar. There was also a request at one point, I don't know if you've heard before, in the build-up to this World Cup, there's a goalkeeper called Nikita Hakin, who is a Russian national who tried to switch his nationality to Norway weeks before the squad was announced, and FIFA rejected it because even though he spent most of his career in Norway, he had a 2-month spell at Bristol City, which broke his residency clock. So for 2 months, he was actually living outside of Norway, and that is how he would have qualified as a Norwegian citizen, because he had continuous residency in the country. But because he'd spent 2 months living in the UK, that broke his residency clock, and for that reason, he didn't get it. Oh, there you go, 1-0, it's Erling Haaland. We've got our first goal. The water break ended. The ball got whipped in from the left-hand side. Erling Haaland scores 1-0. Get in there. Norway score first. That's what we wanted to see. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Great ball in from the left-hand side. It's a tap-in, really, for Haaland. Too easy, that, really, wasn't it? Haaland for my fantasy team, says Matty. Yeah, I've got Haaland as well. Lovely ball in, but it's a wonderful little burst of speed from Haaland. It's Wolf, isn't it? Is it Mats Muller-Wolf who puts the cross in, the Wolves left back? Yeah, Mats Muller-Wolf, a player who I said was a really, really top signing for Wolves. They never really played him all season. He came to the Premier League from AZ Alkmaar in the Eredivisie and never really got a game at Wolves. Flying, marauding left-back, really hard-working left-back. I think there's a future for him in the Premier League with someone else. Done a really, really good job picking him up, but not the best defending. Philip Bidwell says, Key, you can't remember our heydays in the 70s and 80s. No, mate, a little bit before my time, Liverpool's heydays. No. At 36, I grew up in the Souness, Roy Evans era. That's when I first started watching football. Saw us win the Coca-Cola Cup in 95. Iraq, hit it. Saw us win the Coca-Cola Cup in 95 and get beat against United in the FA Cup final in was that 95 or 96 when Cantona scored the winner. Ball whipped in. I need Iraq to have a shot on target. Did you see that American tell Henry and Zlatan about Yeah, I did, yeah. Alexi Lalas. Norway strike, good block from Iraq. McBusby Babe says you had a couple of players in that Norwegian team, didn't you? As did we. Yes, in 1998, we definitely had Vegard Hegum. I think we might have had Øyvind Leonardsen as well. John Arne Riise hadn't yet joined. Don't think he was really in the team. I don't think he went to that World Cup. John Arne Riise never played in a World Cup for Norway. But we had Leonardsen and we had Vegard Hegum, and I think you would have had Schmeichel's Denmark. Solskjaer, I meant, sorry. Solskjaer, and who else would you have had? Who else did United have had? Norwegians. Henning Berg. Oh, Bjorneby as well. Maybe Bjorneby. Bergen Jonsson, of course. Bronny Jonsson. How did I forget that? This charming Dan, I wonder if the Maresca thing is because Chelsea suspect he was talking to City during the season. City might be having to negotiate a payoff to stop it being reported for allegedly tapping him up. Could be. Yeah, could be. Or it could be that they're waiting for this announcement before they, conclude any contracts. Philip Bidwell, I grew up in the Paisley days. Look at you. Look at you. You saw some players, didn't you? My dad went to his first Liverpool game in 68 or 69? Might even have been earlier than that, actually. It might have been 67. But he started going regularly. I think he went to pretty much every Liverpool game since 72. Me dad. Nigo says, do you think the super tactical football from nowadays is better than 90s football? Absolutely not. No, 90s football was brilliant. Much preferred 90s football. I'm an Arsenal fan, but love your streams. Cheers, man. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Here we go. Corner for Norway. 33 minutes on the clock. Right-footed. In-swinger. Far post. Iraq keeper punches it away, and it's cleared away just about. McBusby Babe surprises me, Key. You've only had one Ballon d'Or winner while playing for you. And he shouldn't have had a Ballon d'Or, to be honest. Michael Owen was never a Ballon d'Or winner. I think we've had other players who were deserving of Ballon d'Ors. I think Gerrard was certainly deserving one. Van Dijk was deserving of one. I think Mo Salah, at his peak, was deserving of one. Mo Salah, at his absolute peak, I think he created more and scored more. Or he had more goal contributions than Messi and Ronaldo at his absolute peak. Virgil van Dijk finished alongside Messi and Ronaldo in the Ballon d'Or rankings. Gerrard was alongside him as well. He was probably the only... Maybe Suarez as well. I think Suarez could have certainly been deserving of one at Liverpool. Never won enough, to be honest, to justify it. But yeah, we've had some... I mean, I'm not, not too insecure about it at the end of the day. We've had a lot of talented players. And a Ballon d'Or, I just don't feel... Ballon d'Or doesn't really justify whether or not a player is very good or not. It's all political, isn't it? Keegan won 2, didn't he? But at Hamburg, yeah. Keegan, of course, 2 at Hamburg. Another very talented player. Kenny Dalglish should have probably had a few. When you think about how dominant that Liverpool side were, you would have thought that, Souness, Dalglish, Rush maybe. Great ball in from Iraq. Header, edge of the box. I just need a shot on target. How hard is it for a shot on target, Iraq? Come on. The Lions of Mesopotamia are letting me down here. Who do you think wins Ballon d'Or this year? I'd personally, I'd quite like to see Marquinhos get it. I think Marquinhos justifies. He's been incredible for PSG, and I think he does deserve it. Sarah, I grew up with Joe Fagan. Another very good manager. Again, Joe Fagan won a European Cup with us. Another one from the boot room. Did a great job. Often underrated, not talked about enough in the Joe Fagan era. United had 3 between 64 and 68. Yeah. Some talented players for United as well. I like that. Not heard anyone say Marquinhos first. I just think Kane would be a great shout. Elise would be a great shout. But, honestly, Marquinhos has won a treble. He's won back-to-back Champions Leagues. He's captained the side. He's been astonishingly good. He's not had to play that much football. If Brazil goes the distance in this tournament, I think it'd wrap it up for him. But Marquinhos would be my shout. Norway, here's HAALAND. Edge of the box, Soloth, Odegaard, strike. Just wide, unlucky. That's better, much better. How's it going, Ethan? Yeah, I'm good, mate, thank you. Good to see you. I have got a halftime quiz, by the way, for today. Or for this game. So, stick around for halftime. Do you think Norway get out the groups? If so, how far will they get? Yeah, I mean, I think they'll win this game, and a win is all you need in the group stages. You can win and lose the other two games. You'll go through as one of the best third-place teams. You don't actually need to finish in the top two. So, they'll go through. How far they actually go, I think maybe they might make it to maybe the first, maybe the second round, maybe the round of 16. Maybe they could go one round in qualifying, depending on who they get. Come on, I just need an Iraq shot on target. Give me anything. Good ball. Here we go. Ball pulled back. Header. Oh, they've scored. They've scored. Oh, what a header. It's a great goal. Far post. Iraq erupts. Go on then. 1-1. 39 minutes on the clock. I still need him to have a shot on target because that doesn't count. I need the goalkeeper to save it. Oh, come on. That's a fabulous header, though. Absolutely incredible. Ball stood up nicely, and I think it's Ayman Hussein who scores it. Cheers, Jake. Appreciate that, buddy. Good to see you, man. I think it's Ayman Hussein. The ball comes down the left-hand side. It's a lovely little pass inside. Is he on? Is he onside? Oh, you bet your bottom dollar he's onside. Left-footed, stands it up. Excellent header. There you go. Fabulous, fabulous header. And it is Ayman Hussein. Sticks it away. Player who plays for Al-Khama in the Iraqi Stars League. Spent most of his career in the Middle East. In fact, all of his career in the Middle East. Playing for Al-Jawaya, Salal, Al Jazeera, Raja Casablanca in Morocco. Al Khor in the Qatari Stars League. Al Wakra in Qatar. And then he finally moved back last season to Al-Khama in the Iraqi Stars League, where he's got 9 goals in 7 appearances. 30 years of age. Doing the business. Now, I just need a shot on target from Iraq. Please, that the keeper saves this time. Great goal. Prince Rupert says, fun fact about our manager, Ståle Solbakken, he had a heart attack at the end of his career playing for FC Copenhagen and was clinically dead for 7 minutes. Sweet Lord. Philip Bidwell, my all-time favourite player, won 4 Champions League winners' medals. Phil Neal. Met him. Nice fella. Really nice fella, Phil Neal. Adzadzi, I'm sure shot on target counts on some sites if it's a goal. No, it needs to be a goalkeeper save, mate. Sorry, I said shot on target, meaning I needed a goalkeeper. I need the keeper to save it. So it only counts if it's a Orient Island save. Jake, I'm good, mate. Fair play to you doing streams at this time. Keep going, bud. Cheers, man. We go again. Ball down the right-hand side. Ryerson. It's going to be a corner kick, is it? No, he's give a goal kick. Oh, I tell you what, he's raging at that. I think Ryerson was screaming for either a corner or a free kick. He didn't get either. Then again, that's got to count. There it is. It's the Erling Haaland, and it's an absolute calamity from the Iraqis at the back. Iraq 1, Norway 2. Haaland gets his second of the game. That's been coming. That has been coming. Excellent, excellent stuff. 2-1. Prince Rupert, if we can't keep a clean sheet against Iraq, then every team can score against us. At least we've scored more goals than Spain this World Cup. That's true enough, that's fair. But it's just terrible from the keeper, isn't it? Absolute fresh air shot, and he ends up hitting it against Haaland, and it's the disastrous under-hit pass. Haaland chases it down. That's what you get for putting the work in. Fabulous stuff. Excellent. Great goal. Iraq 1, Norway 2. Haaland gets his second. And now Iraq have to go again. 44. Lil Philly says, this ain't the World Cup key. This is the Erling Haaland show. Just have a pop shot from distance, Iraq. Come on, just help me out. How hard is it? Quick pop shot from distance. Just need the keeper to save one. That's why you always chase down the keeper. That's it, mate. You're dead right, Sarah. Right, I'm off to bed. See you all tomorrow. Take it easy, Sarah. Thank you very much again. By the way, yesterday, I don't know if you saw this, but this is an interesting stat. So yesterday, there were 3 games, or so is it 4 games? 4 match, yeah. So Matchday, whatever it is. I don't know what Matchday it actually counts as, but basically there was 4 games yesterday. And the 4 games were Spain-Cape Verde, 0-0. Belgium-Egypt 1-1, Saudi Arabia-Uruguay 1-1, Iran-New Zealand 2-2. That is only the second time in World Cup history that there have been 4 games, that there have been a day where all of the games have been draws. The last time it happened was in '66. Pete Greenall, is Haaland feeling okay? He's actually running. He's putting the graft in, isn't he? He's definitely putting the graft in. Good ball down the right-hand side. Here's Noosa. Iraq. Got to try and get their head up now. Try and get back into the game in some way. Rob says, Key, how come the games tomorrow kick off 1 hour later than usual? There is no usual, mate. No, some games kick off at 5, some games kick off at 6, some games kick off at 10, 9, 11 p.m. UK time. They're all kind of all over the place. So, yeah, tomorrow you've obviously got Portugal-Congo at 6 p.m. You had Spain-Cape Verde at 5 p.m. yesterday. The day after Portugal-Congo is 6 p.m. On June the 18th, you've got Czech Republic versus South Africa, 5 p.m. We're doing that game. So, there's lots and lots of changes in the kickoff times. Graham says, can't make my mind up about that Norway shirt. I quite like it. Reminds me a lot, though, of the Norway shirt from the '98 World Cup. Maybe that's what it's based on. 3 minutes of injury time left to go in the first half. Lovely stadium, that. And it is relatively full. Here's Iraq down the left-hand side. Come on, we need a shot on the target. Come on. Good ball in. Strike. Fuck off. Just need that shot on target. Just hit it from distance. Just give us a shot. Good ball in. Header. Far post must be. Oh. It's a claim for the handball. Claim for the handball. He's screaming penalty. He's screaming penalty here. Oh, hey, that might be, you know. That might be. That might be a penalty. It might be. It's a shot on target for sure. Does it hit Moller Wolf in the hand? No, it's his foot. That's a great bit of defending. Don't know what he's claiming handball for. Doesn't hit his hand at all. Doesn't hit his hand at all, that one. Mr. Turnables, how are you doing, sir? Better late than never. I was wondering where you was. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. How are you? Corner to Norway. For Norway to defend. Sorry, Iraq have got it. There is no penalty. Prince Rupert, I really wanted a Norway shirt for this cup, but they're mad expensive. Be over £100 easily and very hard to get. Have you not thought about maybe just getting one of the dodgy ones? Get on DHgate or whatever. Rob says Iraq player. I can't justify 100 for a shirt. Every shirt I've got has either been one that I've owned for like years, like decades kind of thing, or it's off Vinted. And if it's off Vinted, it's like a tenner maybe, or £20. If it's a really nice one. This charming Dan, you know, you go for a quick piss and get a drink and you end up missing 2 bastard goals. Timing's never been your forte, Dan. Come on, Iraq. Likes are too low, people. Come on, let's bring up the likes. Oh, what a guy. To be honest, mate, it's very low because I imagine because it's getting on for midnight and it's not a particularly... It's work, innit? People have got work tomorrow. Odegaard's been brilliant so far. He has been quite good, hasn't he? He's done all right. Tried getting one from OKJ, for some reason declined my payment. Odd. Are you in the World Cup Fantasy League, mate? If you're in the World Cup Fantasy League, I've said I'll give this away. Whoever wins the World Cup Fantasy League can have this. They're in! Iraq are 1-on-1! Oh, is it in? Oh, how as if he's not got a shot on target from there, Amadi. Ah, how are you 1-on-1 with the keeper and you don't hit the target? So annoying. It's actually a corner, isn't it? Has he got a corner out of it? Yeah, corner Iraq. Here we go. They've not got time, though. I have to whip it in very quickly. Very close. Ball whipped in. Iraq. Far post. Header. Got to get it back in. Edge of the box. Hit it. Oh! Fucking hell, they're so close, Iraq. I'll tell you what. Rob, should I send you my address already? Hey, go for it. No, whoever wins the Matchday Tavern World Cup Fantasy League can have this. But I was gonna say, Prince Rupert, if you win it, I don't mind. I'll get you the thingy. I'll get you an OK jersey, Norway top or whatever it is. I'm not saying whoever it is. Whatever you want, I can get you one. If they're not going to accept your payment, I'll get you one. Comms thought it was in. It looked like it. It was a screamer. Great effort. Well, there you go. Iraq 1, Norway 2. Half time. It's been a very interesting first half. I think it's probably the best way of putting it. Iraq got back level with a fabulous header. Erling Haaland, unsurprisingly, with 2 goals. And they'll be disappointed, Iraq, to have gone behind in the manner in which they have. A huge mistake from the goalkeeper. Bill Philly says, hey, K, are you 6th in the league by chance? Because I'm right below you. Do you know what? I don't know. I've not even looked at it. Let's have a look at the league table. Let's have a little look at the Matchday Tavern league table very quickly. Because I've not seen where we are in the World Cup Fantasy League. Let me see. Here we go. Right, my leagues. Where are we up to? So I'm on 34 points. Rob's top. Jesus Christ, you're flying. How many players have I got left to play, though? I've got Pickford still to play. I've got Bruno still to play. Kane still to play. And HAALAND. Yeah, so I've still got like 3... Yeah, and HAALAND another half. So, yeah, mine could fly, to be honest. Who's Rob got? Let's have a look at Rob's team. Gunn, Kimmich, Dest, Hernandez, Elvedi, Xhaka, Vertolise, Mbappe, HAALAND, Ayadabal. Of course you've got HAALAND. Of course you have. Oh, did I default captain HAALAND as well? I think I captained him by default. Oh, I did. I captained HAALAND and I've vice-captained Kane. I didn't even mean to do that. Reese, I'm astonished by Iraq, kid. Do you have any idea they were like this? Pfft, did I? I've warned you about Iraq. No, to be honest, I don't think anyone would have expected Iraq to be this good. They've been very well organised, very well drilled. The coach is very highly thought of, Graham Arnold. He is very, very highly thought of, and he's got Rene Meulenstein, ex-Alex Ferguson assistant manager, is his assistant manager for Iraq. But they had the longest road to the tournament. 21 qualifiers, Iraq, across 4 Asian rounds, plus the intercontinental playoff, obviously, against Bolivia. Right. Should we do our halftime quiz? Let's do our halftime quiz. Bugger it. I think I'm cursed. Yesterday I was just typing Belgium have been shite when they scored. Today I go for a piss and miss 2 goals. Finners Matty, go on then, Key. What's Iraq's national dish? Iraq's national dish is... Do you know what? I'm going to save that for the second half. I'll save those little tidbits for the second half. Let's do the halftime quiz. Here we go. Headlines. Where are you? Halftime quiz. Right, there you go. Get your answers in the chat. Prince Rupert, I can give you Norway's national dish. Farikal. Is it farikal? That sounds beautiful, by the way, farikal. Lamb and cabbage, stewed with whole black peppercorns. So beloved it has its own national day every September. They also have brunost, which is brown cheese on waffles, the other obsession of Norway. Can't say I've had either, but honestly, farikal sounds lovely. I do love a bit of lamb. But there you go, halftime quiz. Top 20 Norwegians with most Premier League appearances. That is your halftime quiz. The top 20 Norwegians with the most Premier League appearances. Get your answers in the chat. Who are they? It is, and it's disgusting. The smell alone makes me sick. What, of farikal or of brunost? Which one? Both sound really nice. HAALAND, says Football Talks. Yep, HAALAND is the... I'll give you both HAALANDs because Erling Haaland is number 19. But Alf Inge, his dad, Haaland Sr., is number 10. Callum, are you doing Argentina? I'm not, mate. No, not doing Argentina. Andy says Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is 6th. Tore Andre Flo, says Andy. Yes, Tore Andre Flo is 17th. Former Chelsea centre-forward. John Arne Reeser, number 1. Oscar Bob, not quite there yet. No, not Oscar Bob. Henning Berg, good shout. Henning Berg, Pete, is 3rd. Breda Hangeland, well done. Breda Hangeland is 5th. The giant from Fulham. Keep them coming. Stig-Inge Bjornaby, says Scott. Stig-Inge Bjornaby is 12th. Handsome Stig. I did like Bjornaby. He was a very, very good player. Gamer Guru, what's your verdict on the France penalty claim key? I thought it was a nailed-on pen, mate. I'm absolutely astonished that it didn't get given. Vegard Hegem, says Pete. No, Vegard Hegem didn't quite make enough Prem appearances. Ronnie Dodge, hey Key, got a new channel, mate. Yes, brand new channel. Premier League Dad is still there. It is still going to be doing stuff over the summer, over the next season coming. I'm thinking of doing a talk show over there. But the Matchday Tavern here is where we are for... that is where we are for lives. All future lives are going to be here. Prince Rupert says, Breda Hangeland is a member of this current Norwegian coaching team. Is he really? Pete Greenall says, Leonardson. Yeah, Øyvind Leonardson, former Liverpool, Wimbledon and Tottenham player, is 8th. Øyvind Leonardson. Sander Berger and Odegaard. Odegaard is 11th. Sander Berger is 18th. Not Ayer. No, Ayer's not there. John Carew. Well done, this charming Dan. John Carew is 20th. Thought we were ranking by goals. No, appearances. Top 20 appearance holders for Norway. Or top 20 Norwegian Premier League appearance holders. Norwegians with the most appearances in the Prem. Josh King is correct. Yes, Josh King is number 7. Good shout. Football Talk says Erik Bakker. Yeah, former Leeds midfielder. Erik Bakker, absolutely brilliant. Not Jan Arge Fjortoft, Scott. I like that thinking, but it's not Fjortoft. No. So far, you've got Carew, Erling Haaland, Sander Berger, Tore Andre Flo, Erik Bakker, Stig-Inge Bjornaby, Odegaard, Alf-Inge Haaland, Øyvind Leonardson, Josh King, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Breda Hangeland, Henning Berg, and John Arne Reeser. Not Wolf. No, not Mats Moller-Wolf. Not Ayer. Klaus Lundekvam is 2nd. Klaus Lundekvam, who spent basically all his career at Southampton when they were a staple of the Premier League. Mr. Turnbull says Carew is Norwegian. He is, yes, John Carew. That's the one, yeah, Prince Rupert, Klaus Lundekvam. Not Strand Larsen. There's one I'm absolutely astonished hasn't been named yet. He's basically, whenever people talk about, like, Barclays men, they always say this guy. I'm astonished that he's not been mentioned yet. Top 20 Norwegians with the most Premier League appearances. This guy is mentioned every single time people talk about Barclays men. Scored a lot of great goals. There you go. Scott's got it. Morten Gamst Pedersen. Yeah, Morten Gamst Pedersen. Shay, are you doing this game over the Argentina one? I am, mate, yes, because I've got my little girl's sports day tomorrow at 10 o'clock, so I'm going to be doing that instead. And I just thought to myself, if I'm up till 5 o'clock watching Argentina, it's probably not wise. So I'm going to do this one and then get an early-ish night. I'll probably still only be in bed at 1 o'clock, if not later. Ronnie Jonsson, yes, Ronnie Jonsson is the Champions League winner with Manchester United. He is number 15. Everton keeper Thomas Myra. Not Thomas Myra, no. Not Thomas Myra. You've still got 1, 2, 3. There's only 3 left to get. 3 left to get. One of them is a Premier League title winner. Yeah, I think he is. Anyway, let me just double check that now, because now I've got me doubting myself. Even I'm doubting myself now. Yeah, no, he didn't win a Premier League title. He didn't win a Premier League title. He joined a title winner, so he just missed out on it. Stefan Everson. Yes, Stefan Everson is correct. Number 13, Stefan Everson. Klaus Lundek van we've got. Not Eric Dorsvet. We've got Henning Berg. What a game so far, says Garn. Yeah, it's been a decent game, hasn't it? The two that you've got remaining... one of them, I mean, they're both in the 90s. I'll give you that. They're both 90s Premier League players. So, neither of them were playing in the Prem by the time the 2000s swung around. Swung? Is that even a word? Swung? Swung. Swung around. Yeah, so one of them played in the very first Premier League season for a side who subsequently got relegated and ended up leaving the Football League. One of them joined a Premier League title winner in the 90s. You did have a lot of Premier League players in the 90s. I'm trying to narrow it down by giving you players you might know. One of them played for Blackburn. And the other one played for Oldham. That should basically give you everything you need. I don't know who else he played for, the one who played for Oldham. I only ever really remember him playing for Oldham, but I'm sure he played for someone else. Leeds, of course he did. Played for Leeds, he played for Bradford actually. He was in the Prem in 2000s. He was a right back. Played for Oldham for a long, long time, and then ended up playing for Leeds for a bit. The great Hewlett-Packard Leeds t-shirt. Not Leonardson, no, we've already got him. Not Fjortoft, not Joe Tessam. Blackburn player, can't remember his name. Not Fjortoft, no, Fjortoft, I like the thinking though, because he played for Swindon, right? Not Jan Ager Fjortoft, no. This player played for Oldham, played for Leeds, played for Bradford. Gunnar Haller. Gunnar Haller is the Oldham player. He is 9th for Premier League appearances. And the other player, number 14, is Lars Bohinen. Lars Bohinen joined Blackburn Rovers just as they had won the title. And he was good. He was a decent player, but kind of fell away when Roy Hodgson turned up at Blackburn and ended up moving on to Derby County. Had a spell at Derby County. Did have a spell at Nottingham Forest as well. So he played for Forest and Derby. That must make him a bit of a public enemy in the East Midlands. The Dark Knight says Norway just warming up now. Norway's defence are disastrous. They're certainly giving up chances, aren't they? Yeah, certainly giving up lots of chances, Norway. There you go. That's your half-time quiz. Top 20. I'll just run through them again. The top 20 Norwegians with the most Premier League appearances. Number 20 was John Carew, former Aston Villa striker. Valencia striker. Very, very talented centre-forward. Number 19, Erling Haaland, who scored 2 in the first half here. Number 18, Sander Berge of Sheffield United, Burnley, Fulham. Number 17, Tore Andre Flo, who was very underrated, I thought, at Chelsea. Number 16, Erik Bakker, hard-working midfielder who played for Leeds. 15, Ronnie Johnsen, won a treble with Manchester United in 99. Number 14, Lars Bohinen, who we said joined Blackburn Rovers after they had won the league title. 13, Stefan Everson, another really underrated centre-forward for Spurs. Number 12, Stig Inge Bjorneby, who seemed to, do you know what, went in a days of like marauding fullbacks and fullbacks getting assists. Stig Inge Bjorneby used to get a lot of assists for Liverpool. Good player, Bjorneby. Number 11 is Odegaard. There he is on screen now. Martin Odegaard. Had a good first half in this one. Number 10 is Erling's dad, Alf Inge. Number 9, Gunnar Haller. Number 8, former Liverpool, Spurs and Wimbledon midfielder Øyvind Leonardsen. Number 7, Josh King. Number 6, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Number 5, Brede Hangeland. Number 4, Morten Gamps Pedersen. Number 3, Henning Berg, another one who won the title with Man United. Number 2, Klaus, and he won the title with Blackburn as well, didn't he, Hedingberg? Number 2, Klaus Lundekvam, and number 1, the man with a rocket for a left foot, John Arne Riise. Thank you, everyone. Lars Bohinen. Now there's a name I've not heard in a long, long time, to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi. Defences win trophies. Well done, Cape Verde. Okay. But yeah, Farikal. Farikal is the lamb and cabbage stew that is Norway's national dish. They are also the world's biggest exporter of salmon. I wasn't aware of that. Norway, the world's biggest exporter of salmon. And they are now Europe's biggest supplier of oil and gas. Norway's oil wealth fund is the largest on earth. It owns about 1.5% of every listed company in the world. For Iraq, again, this is kind of like the oil derby, isn't it? Iraq is the overwhelming majority of their exports is oil. And it's the date capital of the world. If you're looking for good dates, Iraq is the place to get them. I'm speaking specifically about the food. Maybe not the... You know, if you're looking for a lady to take out on a date, I'm not sure if Iraq is a hotbed for that. It might be. I don't know. It could be. But yeah, Mesopotamia. They are called the Lions of Mesopotamia for a reason. Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, where writing began, the wheel was invented, the very first cities, and also beer brewing as well, believe it or not. Beer brewing is known to date back to Mesopotamian times. Again, not sure that would be incredibly popular in Iraq nowadays. Iraq's national dish is mazgoof. Mazgoof, the pride of Baghdad. A butterflied river carp. Oh, river carp. Slow grilled upright around an open fire. Often eaten riverside on the Tigris. I mean, that doesn't sound brilliant, does it? Pete Green, I'd eat that Norway dish. It sounds nice. I was going to say, Prince Rupert's telling me it's awful. I mean, he said some people quite like it, but yeah, I might try and get hold of some farikal. Lamb and cabbage stewed with whole black peppercorns. I could have a bit of that. To be honest, I'd try most lamb dishes. Love a bit of lamb. Norway playing around with it at the back. Clock's not clocking. That's, again... It's my fault, that's because I put it as manual clock because it was behind. So, there you go. Let's start it again. That should be working now. There you go. Look at us. We're back live. Sorted. Cheers, man. Thanks for that. 50 minutes on the clock. Cheers, Philip. Yeah, sorted now, mate. Iraq drive forward. Come on. Get me that shot on target. Give me that shot. Maybe a throw in for Iraq. Norway first team to score. Got that. Øyvind Nyland 1+ goalkeeper saves. That's all I need. Just have a shot and let the goalkeeper save it. I'll cheer my head off when that happens. And I also need the same in the Argentina-Algeria game, by the way. Argentina first team to score. Emi Martinez to make 1+ saves. Same in Portugal-Congo tomorrow. Portugal first team to score. Diogo Costa to make 1+ saves. England first team to score against Croatia. Pickford to make 1+ saves. There's a pattern. And if all of them start coming off, I mean, I don't know whether or not it's likely, but if all of them start coming off by the 19th, I could be on for £9,000. Mr. Turnables, if Ronaldo starts at Portugal, they aren't scoring first. Even with Bruno, Premier League Player of the Year, Bruno, World Player of the Year, United fans will speak until they're blue in the face that he's the best player in the planet. That's better. Unlucky. Iraq have got a throw in on the halfway line. Got to imagine Norway are just trying to play maybe with a little bit of, not hesitancy, but just they'll be cautious of the fact that they allowed Iraq a few opportunities towards the end of that first half, and they took one of them really, really well, didn't they? So there will be a little bit of concern, I would imagine, from Ståle Solbakken that this Iraq team can get forward. That's a wonderful run. It's got to be a free kick, surely. How's he not give that, the ref? That's poor. Iraq continue with the ball. Good ball in. Header. Oh, not on target. Bugger. Mr. Turnables is an attacking midfielder. Odegaard sure presses a lot, doesn't he? Works really hard. I like Odegaard. I think the problem is his fitness. He's just not fit. Prince Rupert, England, Croatia. That'll be a banger. When's that? Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Portugal, Congo, 6 p.m. England, Croatia, 9 p.m. Pete says there's only one Bruno, and that's Frank. I was going to do a Frank Bruno impression then, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Cringe. I cringed inside. This charming Dan, I get that Bruno's a good player. I'm just not much of a fan, as he seems like a bit of a fanny. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He is a very talented player, but he just throws his arms up and seems to have a pop at every one of his teammates whenever he does something wrong. Like, I've never seen him make a pass and get it wrong, and then he'll like throw his arms up at the players and like turn away and like scoff like it's the players' fault for not running. Liquid Laser, lad, how about all these games, eh? Cracking, innit? Three-quarters of games, football won. Well, Ryerson's going to take the corner. Sorry, the free kick. I don't know why I said corner. Free kick. Mr. Turnables, he's not a good midfielder. Always needs to play alongside one or two proper midfielders, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, Casemiro did a lot of work for him in the second half of the season, didn't he? Norway play the ball back into the box. Iraq do well to clear it away. It's going to go out for a corner, this. No, Sorloth wins it back, and that should be a throw-in. How's he give that to them? That's so poor from the linesman. Look at Solbakken going, no. That's so obviously a throw-in to Iraq. Norway throw the ball in. HAALAND holds off his man well. And it's launched up the touchline. I think that was Ståle, actually, not HAALAND. He's an interesting player, Ståle, isn't he? Obviously, he came to the Premier League with Palace, didn't he? And it never quite worked out for him at Palace. And he's gone on and had a very decent career elsewhere. Good ball. Chance down the right-hand side. HAALAND, far post. Noosa picks it up. Gets to the byline. Good ball in. Iraq put it behind. It's going to be a corner. Yeah, Solbakken, obviously, when he went to Palace back in the day, they signed him from HAALAND for a decent amount of money, wasn't it, I think? 16 million quid. Yeah, 16 million quid they signed him from HAALAND, and they ended up selling him for 20 million to RB Leipzig after he had a really good breakout year at Trabzonspor. Leipzig moved him on to Sociedad, I think, a couple of times, and he went to Villarreal before he got a big transfer from Villarreal to Atletico Madrid. Football Talk says, question for the panel, which manager has managed 9 clubs? I imagine there's a fair few of them, to be honest. Dick Advocaat's certainly managed more than 9 clubs. This charming Dan says, in our game v United, Bruno accused Angulo of elbowing him in the face. Most of our fans were disappointed in Angulo for not doing it harder. Corner for Norway. Ryerson, header, cleared away. Iraq just about squeeze it out. Noosa gets it back out to Ryerson. Good defending from Iraq. Really spirited stuff. And now on the counter-attack, it's going to be a throw-in, I think. Liquid Laser, I'm cashing in on HAALAND in our little fantasy league tonight. Spoiler, used auto pick, but I will sub in the knockout stages. But I did give the auto pick a little look and said, yeah, that's fine for now. Good lad. Commentators called HAALAND the Norwegian Neymar. That's an insult. HAALAND doesn't roll around. HAALAND's well better than Neymar. Mr. Turnable says Sean Dyche probably managed 10 teams. He spent a long time at Burnley. I don't know if he has actually managed 10. Bet there's a fair few managers who... I mean, let me see how many Dick Advocaat's managed, because I would argue Dick Advocaat's certainly managed at least 9 clubs. He managed Dordrecht, SVV, Haarlem, PSV, Rangers, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Zenit, AZ, PSV, AZ, Sunderland, Fenerbahce, Sparta Rotterdam, Utrecht, Feyenoord, ADO Den Haag. That's more than 10, I would say. He's also managed internationally Curaçao, Iraq, Netherlands, Serbia, Russia, Belgium, South Korea, United Arab Emirates. He's also managed Netherlands women. And he's managed Netherlands 3 times. He has managed 8 national teams, Dick Advocaat. Some of them on multiple occasions. Sam Allardyce. Hodgson's managed about 50 teams as well. Yeah, Hodgson's moved around a bit as well, hasn't he? Sean Dyche, I don't think has. Let me have a look and see how many Sean Dyche has managed. I think he'd probably be maybe 5 or 6. 4. Yeah. Watford, Burnley, Everton, Forest. He was at Burnley for such a long time. But Roy Hodgson is a little bit like Dick Advocaat, isn't he? Kind of annoyed that Liverpool's on that Roy Hodgson CV. Roy Hodgson managed Hampstead, Bristol City, Oddevold, Örebro, Malmo, Neuchâtel Xamax, Switzerland, Inter, Blackburn, Grasshoppers, Copenhagen, Udinese, United Arab Emirates, Viking, Finland, Fulham, Liverpool, West Brom, England, Palace, Watford, Palace and Bristol again. So like 20 odd teams. 20 teams minimum. Some on multiple occasions. And again, if you're talking internationally, to manage Switzerland, UAE, Finland, and England. Surprised he's not managed Sweden, to be honest, Roy Hodgson. Ball down the right-hand side. Good ball in. Iraq clear it away. 30 to go. And I'm still desperate for this shot on target. Come on, Iraq. Come on, let's get some men up there. Let's get some extra bodies forward. This is a great run. Go on, lad. Go on. Cut inside and have a go. That's going to be a throw in Iraq. Well done. Kieran says, best national anthem at the tournament, Key. I quite liked the Uruguay one against Saudi yesterday. Mr. Turnables, I saw Sean Dice goofing around on TikTok and my brain couldn't work out what I was watching. For me, it has to be the flower of Scotland. I remember when he kept Sunderland up a few years ago. Big Dick Advocaat. Nice fella. Got Curaçao to the World Cup and still decided, do you know what? I think his little girl was poorly, wasn't she? I say little girl, I'm sure she's a grown woman, but his daughter was poorly. And he said, listen, I can't manage, I can't do it. I've got to go and look after my family. So he finished. And Curaçao said, listen, we'll wait for you. You go and take care of her. Take as long as you need. We'll be here for you. And they did. They waited for him. And I thought that was a really nice touch from Curaçao, actually. So Dick Advocaat went, looked after his daughter, nursed her back to health, and went back and managed Curaçao after getting them to the World Cup. Nice little story. It's all about the counter-attack, really, for Iraq, isn't it? No, you look at the pace. They have got a bit of pace on the counter-attack. Al-Hamadi went off, and Ismail also went off for Iqbal and Farji. Farji's the one, really, the player at Venezia. He actually played in Norway for a long time at Strømsgood set. Chance far post. Oh, roof of the net again from Iraq. Unlucky. Yeah, Marco Farji is the one to watch for Iraq. Ball over to the far post. It's a great effort, isn't it? Football talks. Out of the Premier League's original 22 founding clubs, how many have never been relegated from the competition? Easy. Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal. Job done. There's more than that. There's more than 3. Spurs never went down. Chelsea never went down. Shay says Zidane, Iqbal, Mankborn and Bread, but plays for Iraq international football is mad. Yeah, this is the thing with international football. Players getting an opportunity to play for nations that they don't feel a huge amount of belonging to. Not always, of course. It might be the case with Zidane Iqbal, I don't know. But in a lot of cases, you see players kind of, oh, I didn't realise I could qualify for these guys. Goal kick. Poor that. Mr. Turnable, so far, Germany and France look like they can beat anyone. And Kieran says, to be fair, Germany could have played the under-23s and won that game 5-0. That's true, yeah. I mean, I think you've got to take into context. Germany played well, but they were also playing Curaçao, and they did concede against them as well. Just charming Dan, Dick Advocaat cried when he kept Sunderland up, then he resigned the next season when he realised he wasn't up for the job long-term. A classy gent. Pete says the Scots broke a record during their anthem, noisiest at the World Cup. Didn't know that. Did France look gettable at all? What do you mean by gettable? As in, did they look like they could be beaten? Yeah, first half, definitely. Senegal missed a couple of big chances. Hit the post. Yeah, Senegal definitely unsettled France and ruffled a few feathers. Yeah, I really do think France could be got at, and by a better, more clinical side, I'm pretty confident they would struggle. Here's Noosa down the left-hand side for Norway. Corner to Norway. Prince Rupert says Everton went down, but I believe that's about 70 plus years ago. Well, he said Premier League, and there's a lot more than 3 teams not gone down out of the original 22 in the Prem. Yeah, Chelsea have never been relegated. Spurs have never been relegated. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United have never been relegated. I think they're the only ones out of the original 22. Obviously, Newcastle have been down. Villa have been down. Pretty much everyone else. Everton, of course. Sorry, Everton. Did not? I think I said Everton, didn't I? If I didn't, I meant to say it. Yeah, there's a lot more than 3 anyway. There's an awful lot more than 3. Liquid Laser says the gamification of national duty is a situation in some parts as it aids players' private contract eligibility for certain caps. In other cases, associations are just happy when... Looking forward to the rest of that post. This charming Dan says, my favourite anthem of the World Cup is the same as it is in every international game. The mute button. Liquid Laser players are available to them, but if French-born have like ancestry in Africa and they abuse the system, I don't want to see them take opportunities from others. I mean, listen, it is what it is, but it does kind of boil down to recruitment, isn't it? It's recruitment going on here. Little bit like what we saw with Cape Verde, and there can be success stories with it, of course. With Cape Verde, we saw the centre-back from Shamrock Rovers, Pico, who qualified for Cape Verde via I think it was his grandmother. He was born in Ireland. He played his entire career for Shamrock Rovers. He's getting on for 30. But the Cape Verdean Football Association found out that he had some sort of heritage, and they messaged him on LinkedIn, believe it or not, and said, hey, listen, would you like to come and play for Cape Verde? He very quickly attained citizenship, and off he went. Played at the World Cup and maybe got man of the match. I Am Croot says, apparently him and Ghana answered no. Parties lost his appeal to get a visa in Canada. Oh, right, sorry, that's what it was. Apparently him and Ghana answered no on the criminal convictions form. Well, he doesn't have any criminal convictions, does he? I mean, I guess he's got pending criminal convictions, possible pending criminal... There's still a court case going on, isn't there, as far as I'm aware? I don't think he actually has any criminal convictions, but maybe because it's pending, maybe that's why... maybe it won't... I don't know. Yeah. Pete says Brentford have never been relegated from the Prem. That's true enough. Philip Bidwell says some YouTubers think matches that don't have many goals are boring. One YouTuber said the Ivory Coast match was boring. That's been my favourite game at the tournament so far, Philip. Yeah, I've referenced that many times. Ecuador and Ivory Coast, I thought was a phenomenal game. Outstanding criminal charges, I see. Well, yeah, there's certainly outstanding criminal charges with Thomas Partey, and I can understand why that might preclude him from participation at the tournament. Again, it seems that everyone's okay with Thomas Partey being told no. I mean, that's fine. But what I'm saying is when countries ultimately decide what criteria they decide what people are going to be let in and which aren't, you know, they've decided they don't want a certain criteria, or they do want this criteria. I think that's their right at the end of the day. As much as it's a FIFA tournament and it's a world tournament, and you want everyone to be included and you want everyone to be able to participate. I think if a country says, listen, you either meet the visa standards, these are the visa standards, you either meet them or you don't. If you meet them, great. If you don't, then unlucky, on your way. So, Thomas Partey, I think is right that I don't think anyone's really upset about that, are they? No one's really upset about him not being allowed into the country, not being allowed to participate in the tournament, or at least I've not seen any upset. And again, we don't know what happens with that situation. There's obviously still a pending court case. It might well be that Thomas Partey gets found not guilty, and then we're all saying what a shame it was that he wasn't able to play at the World Cup. Not guilty and misses out on one of the biggest tournaments in his career, if not the biggest moment in his career. Mercury says, I thought you weren't going to go live for this one. Well, I wasn't. I was going to do Argentina versus Algeria, but I skipped it in the end. Mr. Turnable's only Ghanaians here are upset. Well, I was going to say, you can uniquely tell us about that as a Ghanaian yourself. You can tell us about this, can't you? I mean, I guess from my perspective, I've not seen anyone complain about Thomas Partey missing out. This charming Dan says, I think the biggest piss take is players that switch who they play for at international level after playing for another country. I don't care if they only played a friendly, they should stick with it. Yeah, that's true as well. There's quite a few who did that. Stephen Colker did that, didn't he? Stephen Colker played a friendly, he might even play a couple of friendlies for England, and then spent the rest of his sort of final parts of his career playing for Sierra Leone. Prince Rupert says, I mean, the Benjamin Mendy case was insane. The man had doors that locked from the outside and wasn't convicted. Yeah, I mean, listen, that didn't meet the threshold for a criminal conviction. But I think there's an awful lot of things that footballers do that aren't, not just footballers, but, you know, rich young men. Give rich young men an awful lot of money and, you know, bodies at peak physical fitness. You'll get women flocking around them. You'll get businessmen flocking around them. It's a recipe for poor morals, and generally speaking, there'll be footballers who don't break the law necessarily, but do some pretty awful stuff. There's a lot of footballers who don't have a criminal record who are pretty abhorrent human beings, to be fair. And can you separate the art from the artist? If you found out one of the best footballers, one of your favourite footballers was an absolutely awful human being, would it change how you felt about them as a footballer? I don't think we watch the footballers thinking they're fabulous human beings, do we? To be fair, people have been calling Kylian Mbappe all sorts, haven't they? Kylian Mbappe apparently is a nightmare to deal with. He's an absolutely horrendous person to deal with at Real Madrid behind the scenes. Massive ego and all this sort of stuff is the allegation, and that he's a nightmare to deal with. He might be a really lovely lad, who knows? But we watch him and we enjoy his football. It's a very slippery slope. Iraq making another couple of changes. Norway making another couple of changes. Hussein Ali and Ali Jassim's gone off. Ahmed, Wassem and Mustafa Sadoun has come on. It's comical Ali at the game. We are winning. This charming Dan says it's a totally disrespectful to the country they are ditching. If they turned out to be shitter than they thought, they'd have been happy playing for them. It's that. Do you know what it is? It's the Adnan Januzaj thing for me. It's the Adnan Januzaj. I always go back to Adnan Januzaj. Adnan Januzaj, I think, when he first broke through at Man United, Shay, you'll remember this. Adnan Januzaj broke through at Man United and he had a fabulous, breakout season, and he was this, hot young property, and I'm 90% sure he was I mean, it's not this, but I'm going to say this, right? It's probably something else, but I'm sure he was born in Serbia, but his dad was Belgian, and his mum was Spanish, and he spent his childhood in Italy, but he spent the last 5 years in England, but he had a grandma from Kosovo, and another grandparent from Ireland, and there was just this whole, big thing of he could play for about 9 different countries, and it was like they were all messaging him saying, oh, why don't you come and play for us, and it just, that to me is not what a World Cup's about. Sauce Hoss Josh, as an American who likes the NBA, I liked Victor Wembanyama up until his antics in the NBA Finals. Totally lost respect for him. That's fair enough. I mean, hey, listen, like I said, it's to each their own, but I guess I think you've got to try and separate the artist from their art. If they're a good footballer, you watch him and you enjoy him as a good footballer. I think if you try and attach too much, it's like, oh, they're a really lovely bloke as well. Yeah, I think you never meet your heroes. That's what they say, isn't it? Never meet your heroes. You'll always be disappointed. Case in point, Giggs, great player, but you wouldn't have him around your missus. John Terry, Ryan Giggs, Wayne Rooney, David Beckham, these all weren't particularly lovely people. There was everything around Cristiano as well, wasn't there, says I Am Crew? Yeah. Imagine a planet fighting over Adnan Januzaj, of all people. It was true, that's how it was. That is how it was. Adnan Januzaj had whole nations, whole continents fighting over him at one point. Shay says, the best international tournament I watched that I can remember is the '08 Euros. Even though I was young, it was great. There was only 16 teams, then straight into the quarters. There's too many teams in this now. Hey, listen, I don't mind it. It's more games and it's good fun. It is good fun. I like watching a World Cup, and I think it has been a good World Cup so far. We didn't qualify for '08, did we? I don't think so, no. I think we missed out on '08, didn't we? Wasn't '08 when we had Scott Carson? Oh, there it is. It's an Erling Haaland. No, it's not. It's Ostergaard. It's Ostergaard who gets the flick on at the near post. It looked like Haaland, but it wasn't. It's Ostergaard with the header. Fabulous header. He's only been on the pitch about 2 minutes, and the big centre-back gets his head on it. Absolutely fantastic header. Leo Ostergaard, former Brighton defender, former Stoke defender as well, Leo Ostergaard. Big header, and it's 3-1 to Norway. Now I still need this Iraq shot. It's killing me, this. I really need Iraq to have a shot. Come on. Shay says, remember Januzaj? I don't know actually what happened to him, though. I checked the other day and seen he was like 33 or something mad. I think he went to Spain, Adnan Januzaj. He played, he was really highly thought of at Belgium. He ended up choosing Belgium, didn't he? But he plays for Sevilla. He still plays for Sevilla. He's 31. He spent last season... no. His biggest spell in his career has been playing for Real Sociedad, where he was averaging about a goal every 10 games. Clarky, how's it going, mate? Lovely to see you. Happy birthday. It's your birthday, innit, Clarky? Or was it your birthday yesterday? Well, technically yesterday. Still today as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure it's your birthday today, isn't it, Clarky? Pete says Rooney is different. You wouldn't have him around your gran. Ayan says, what's your opinion on Virat Kohli? You don't need to say it multiple times, mate. I'll say that. I don't have an opinion on Virat Kohli. I don't know anything about cricket. It's not my thing. Last 12 minutes plus injury time. Any chance at all we can get a shot on target? This charming Dan says, didn't we miss out on Euro 2008 with Steve McLaren in charge, the Wally with the brolly? Yes, I'm sure that was when Scott Carson fumbled against Croatia. Ironically, who we play tomorrow. Shay says, remember he scored that goal against England in the World Cup at like 19, thought he was going to be the next big thing. Some players just don't reach their potential, says Shay. That's probably a good question, actually, to be fair. Which players do we remember that, didn't quite live up to the potential that was originally billed as? Ansu Fati, I remember him breaking through at Brighton, hasn't quite turned out to be as he billed. Bojan, another one. Lots of players come through at Barca who everyone thought was like the next big thing. Giovanni Dos Santos, Bojan. I think you could probably file... Obviously, Ansu Fati's another one, but I think you could probably file Ricardo Quaresma in that as well. Ricardo Quaresma was seen as like the next big thing for Portugal, and he had a decent career, but he never quite... He could have been so much more, Quaresma. Dele Alli, yeah, Dele Alli's a good shout. Again, he did achieve a lot, but I don't think it's necessarily he didn't achieve his potential. I think what happened with Dele Alli is he got to a point in his career, and sometimes it happens in life. You just have a trigger point. Something happens. It sets off some, maybe it's a repressed memory or something, and it just makes you feel a certain type of way. And you can go from being the most calm and level-headed and sort of hard-working and dedicated individual to someone that just can't really focus on what they want to and need to focus on. And that's kind of what it feels like's happened with Dele Alli. He's gone from being and it's not injury. It's not injury. He said it himself, hasn't he? It's entirely in his head. It's entirely mental demons that he's got to overcome. Patrick Berg's just come on for Odegaard. It's a real shame, though, what's happened with Dele Alli. I'd argue peak Dele was genuinely better than what we've seen of Bellingham. I'd agree with that, yeah. Quaresma was actually rated higher than Cristiano Ronaldo. That's what I was thinking. When he first came through, there was a lot of noise with him. Ravel Morrison, great shout. Prince Rupert, I'm happy with this result. Just don't concede now. Can we at least just have an Iraq shot on target, Rupert? That's all I need. It ain't happening, though, is it? Do you rate George best, Key? I didn't. I wasn't alive, mate, when he was alive, so I don't know. I don't know. Can't really give you a solid answer on that would mean anything. This charming Dan says, I still remember that Scott Carson clanger in the rain. We were horseshit under the Dutch ginger. Carlos Vela, good shout, David. Yeah, Carlos Vela's another one. Trying to think of players who just about kind of made the first team and started to play, but just never quite. Fran Merida, bloody hell, yeah. Liverpool very nearly signed him. I know he went to Arsenal, but Liverpool were competing with. He was a Barcelona academy product, wasn't he? Like the next Cesc Fabregas kind of thing. Oh, HAALAND should be. Oh, big save. Unlucky. Big save. And that might be a free kick. No, Iraq just about get it away. Dosky. Good defending. Got to get it up the pitch. Good lad. Well done. Gets out. Good lad. The Wally with the Brolly is now at Rotherham. Is that where Steve McLaren is? Wasn't sure of that. Yep, still remember that Scott Carson clanger in the rain. Could say Jack Wilshere didn't fully reach his potential. I mean, Jack Wilshere, Jack Wilshere used to smoke and drink and all sorts during the summer. He admitted he never really ever looked after himself as maybe as well as he should have done for a professional footballer. Genuinely, could you argue Neymar? Not that he's been bad, but it would be expected Ballon d'Ors. I wouldn't necessarily agree, but people would make the argument. That's again reasonable, yeah. I mean, I don't rate Neymar particularly, but you're right. When he first came through, there was massive expectation. Jeffers, Connor Wickham, yeah. Ronnie Huggins says 4-1 Norway. It's only 3-1 at the minute. You still thinking it's going to be 4? Says Ronnie. Dylan says my dad 63. My dad knows who's George best. My dad's a Man United fan. Nice, Dylan. "84 minutes on the clock. Norway. Come on, Iraq. Come on, let's have a little spell at the end of this game. Just get around the edge of the box and someone just have a pop from distance. Just a little P-roller. Little P-roller straight at Nyland. That's what we want. Long ball forward. HAALAND takes it down. Wonderful play. And Iraq just about clear it out. Terrible. Ian, what are we talking about here, Key? Not an awful lot, mate. We've just been chatting about kind of young players who never quite fulfilled their potential. And I don't know how we got onto it, actually. We're talking about Jeffers, Connor Wickham, Stan Collymore. Yeah, Stan Collymore's a great shout, Ian. Stan Collymore's maybe a little bit like Dele Alli to a degree. Up to a point in his career, he was phenomenal, and then, like I was saying, they just maybe hit a point where there's some sort of a trigger moment, maybe something that sparks a repressed memory or something like that. Is that a yellow card? Yeah, there you go. Januzaj's definitely one. Eduardo. Jordan Ibe. Says Kev. Good shout, Kev. Yep, Jordan Ibe. Another one like that again. Mental health issues and stuff throughout the career. Never quite hit the heights that people thought he would. Ravel Morrison. People talk about Ravel Morrison and what a wonderful talent he was, but just got in with the wrong crowd and never quite prioritised his football, did he? That was the problem with Ravel Morrison. Unbelievable player, scored some wonderful goals. I always remember the goal he scored against Tottenham for West Ham. Jermaine Pennant. Jermaine Pennant was man of the match in the 2007 Champions League final against AC Milan. I always remember him having a proper, unbelievable game. AC Milan were terrified of Jermaine Pennant in that game. Never seen a performance like it. Eduardo from Arsenal could have had a great career before the injury. Yeah, again, that was a tough one, that one, wasn't it? Theo Walcott, says David. Yeah, Theo Walcott's another one. Probably, again, Theo Walcott maybe started, maybe a little bit like Michael Owen, that one. Michael Owen, Theo Walcott, played too young. Too young. Injuries affected him. Lost their pace by the time they were like 26, 27. Raheem Sterling, the same. Look at Raheem Sterling. Unbelievably successful with City, but kind of done as a player by the time he got to 26, 27, wasn't he? Richard Wright. Mornmeister, hi from Norway. Christopher Hammerfest here in the new account. Good to see you, man. Great result list for Norway. Was starting to fear for you a little bit when Iraq equalised. Pete says Steve McLaren's the director of football at Rotherham now, so he's not managing. It's probably for the best, isn't it, Pete? Makeda. Oh, Pete, he broke our hearts, didn't he, Federico Makeda? I was right behind that goal at Old Trafford when he scored against Aston Villa. Broke my heart that day. I was gutted. Absolutely gutted. Liverpool had the title right there. Right there. We were just about to win the title with Rafa Benitez. And bloody Federico Makeda scored the one goal in his career. I don't remember him scoring any other goals. He was garbage. Just turned this, ridiculous goal out of nothing. Absolute Puskas winner. Come on. Why were you there, Key? Oh, I've been to many a United game, many an Everton game. I used to go to a lot of different teams, to be honest. Watch a lot of football. Always enjoyed going to watch the footy, mate. Torres. Again, injuries. Injuries curtailed what was a very talented player. James Milner was underrated as a player. He was. James Milner's one of my favourite Liverpool players. Andy Robertson too. I'd say Andy Robertson's underrated. Long ball forward. HAALAND, good defending from Iraq. Getting into the last 60 seconds now. I think this shot on target's a goner. Honestly, I think that's it. I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, gutted. Bloody gutted. Devastated. Keys a Stretford ender. Yep. I was there, mate. I was there for that one. I was there for the 4-1 as well that season. In the same spot as well. And I was there for a few games that season, to be honest, at Old Trafford, but Those are the ones that stand out. Liverpool 4-1. Man United beating Aston Villa with Federico Macheda getting a late winner. Absolutely killed me, that one. 90 minutes on the clock. How many minutes are left injury time wise? Great run this. Iraq get it away. Strike, side netting. Torres isn't a horrific shout. I am Cruz says Docena 2 goals for us. And then same week scored against Madrid. He did. Boring James Milner and his Vimto. Imagine now us beating Madrid 5-0 on aggregate. I mean, in fairness, it wasn't the best Madrid side. And we were probably at our peak. That's probably the best Liverpool side I've seen before Jurgen Klopp arrived. Gerrard, Torres, Mascherano, Alonso, Pepe Reina, Carragher, Hurpier, Arbeloa, John Arne Riise. We had a real top side. Dirk Kuyt as well. Dirk Kuyt on the right-hand side, so underrated. Albert Riera, a real top Liverpool side. And that Real Madrid side had a lot of big names, but actually not a huge amount of quality. You know, you looked at it and it was like Fabio Cannavaro was there, but he was at the tail end of his career. Wesley Sneijder was there. I think Rafa van der Vaart was there. Just a few really odd signings that Real Madrid had picked up, but just it never really worked out for them. This charming dance says, yeah, imagine what it must be like to be like 16, 17, 18 and have the expectations of millions of fans on your shoulders. Not surprising so many don't live up to their perceived potential. Also, and now, because you've got social media, if you have a bad game, you're not just getting it like from the terraces. Like, I imagine back in the day, you'd get a bit of abuse from the terraces and then you'd go home, maybe you'd go to the pub, or you'd go and sit in with your family or whatever. But it'd generally be over. Maybe you'd avoid the papers the next day or something like that. But now you've just got this endless barrage of like, you can't go on social media. You can't go on social media at all, because imagine if you're a young defender or a young goalkeeper and you make an error in a big game and it costs your team. You've then got social media. You've got people making clips. You've got people sending you death threats. People sending you, like horrendous stuff. So I can imagine. I can only imagine. Liquid Laser says, what is Liverpool supporters' opinions of Martin Skrtel's career at Liverpool? I always had a lot of time for Skrtel. He was a good defender. Bit reckless, but I would say he was better than Lovren. Or at least maybe... The difference between Skrtel and Lovren is Dejan Lovren was either gave you a 10 out of 10 performance or he gave you like a 4 out of 10. And most weeks he was a 10 out of 10, I would say that. I think he really was a very good defender for us, but he had so many 3 out of 10 wobbles. Skrtel was like a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 pretty much every week. Pretty consistent. Evan, are you streaming the Argentina game? I'm not, mate. No, I'm only doing this one. And then I am back tomorrow for Portugal, Congo, and England, Croatia. That's why we have to be careful with Rio. It's true. Yeah. To be honest, mate, I didn't realise I'd put it up there. Come on, give us a shot on target. Have a go. Oh, that was the moment there, wasn't it? That was the moment. It's all right for Max Darman. He can't access his social media anymore. Johnny, what happened to you doing all the games, Key? Juice ain't worth the squeeze, mate. Yeah. Ben Hughes, just subscribed. Only just realised you're now on a new account. Good to see you, Ben. Yeah, new account now. All the lives are over here. I'm going to be doing a talk show type thing over on Premier League Dad from the new season, but the World Cup is over here. This charming Dan Key, you're absolutely right about the spotlight of social media. Getting abuse from the terraces is one thing. Getting it pumped into your phone 24/7 on social media from idiots must be horrific. I mean, I get a fraction of what they get, and I've had death threats. So God knows what they must get. Christ, if they ruin someone's weekend. See you at 5 for Jordan v Austria. Good lads. Yeah, no, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, Johnny. I bet, mate, it would have been hard. No, it's nothing to do with that. It's not that when I say the juice ain't worth the squeeze, it's not that it's hard. I could do it. I absolutely could do it. It's more that it doesn't really yield an awful lot in terms of, oh, that must be in. It's in. Is it going to count? I think it is. It's 4-1 Norway. There you go. 4-1 Norway. Headed back across the face a goal from HAALAND, and HAALAND's going to get us an assist. And the captain's working. I've got Captain HAALAND. This is good. Headed back across the face a goal. Bugger. Can't believe there was no save in that game. Not a single save. Do you know what? I think that's going to be an own goal, isn't it? It's going to be an own goal. Might be a claim for a handball, possibly. Yeah, it's going to be an own goal, that one. Will HAALAND get the assist then? I don't know, actually. Lil Philly, honestly, I'm watching all the games, and the ones I can't watch live, I just watch in the morning or afternoon. Oh, yeah, I watch all the games if we're including highlights. Yeah, I've watched all of them. Easy. Easy watching all of them if you include highlights. But to actually watch them all live, I would have done and could have done. But it's difficult to do when, realistically, you're not getting a huge amount of benefit from it, I guess. The World Cup's too saturated. It's a wonderful... I love watching the games with you, I really do. But my God, to do 4 or 5 games in a row, it's risking health for not really an awful lot of benefit. Right. Well, there you go. Full time, folks. Iraq 1. Norway 4. Great result, Rupert. Absolutely fantastic result. Thorsvedt, Ostergaard, HAALAND with 2. And an assist as well. He hasn't got the match ball, but I'm sure he will get it at some point. Absolutely fantastic performance from HAALAND. Norway. Odegaard did well too. 4 goals. Norway sail through to the next round. Shay says you need to be doing the games everyone else isn't doing, Key. That's the trick. The thing is, mate, they're all getting done. They're all getting done, and they're all getting done by, like, people who don't normally watch watch-alongs. People who won't be here at the end of the World Cup, at the end of the day. As soon as the World Cup finishes, that's when it'll all start picking up again. But yeah, it's always going to be dour and dull when we're at the back of the queue. The channel's only 3 weeks old, so it's very, very new. SLS, I hope my country wins against Messi tonight. Well, good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you. I will see in the morning how you got on. But it's 1 a.m. now. I am heading off. Lots of love to everyone. Really appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you so much. Love watching these games with you. And I am back tomorrow for 2 more. Portugal versus Dr. Congo and England versus Croatia. Hopefully you'll join me for one of those. Maybe both of those. Who knows? I'll have some more quizzes lined up for us. But fantastic result for Norway. Iraq did give a good count to themselves. I do think they gave a good account to themselves. And listen, who knows? Maybe the way Senegal played, the way France played. We've seen Cape Verde already surprise Spain. Iraq, the way they played, I think they can have hope that they might be able to get something out of those 2 games. Maybe a point, maybe a win, who knows? They might be able to shock the World Cup. But it was a thoroughly decent performance, I thought, from Iraq. First half, at least, anyway. Until the goalkeeper slip up and they go in at the break behind. Otherwise, would have been a really, really good performance. Right. Lot to love, everyone. Take it easy. Have a lovely night. I will see you all tomorrow. Ta-da. Bye-bye.